Welcome back to Build Life Overland. My name's Steve, and today I thought we'd take a look at some gear. And this won't be your normal gear review video. There's a lot of those on the internet. This is some kind of more unusual things and some things that I like, but gear that I would use to keep my family engaged and safe, I guess. So let's take a look. A lot of the things are related to firewood. I heat with firewood both at home and here. I am at my cabin in southeastern Kentucky. We rent these on Airbnb. There's a link in the description if anyone's interested. Kids, I did when I was a little kid, Boy Scouts, whatever. Love axes, knives, fires. And I say kids because I have a son and two daughters. My middle one has done more camping than my son did. She is the one that likes the axe and the fire and all the things. So let's take a look at it. One of the biggest things I see people doing is taking an axe to split some wood. And sometimes it doesn't even need split, but kids just like to sit there and beat on something. This is an Estwing axe, and I'll put links for as much of this as I can. Take it or leave it. You can get these at Home Depot, I think, too. But Estwing is kind of known for their axes, hammers, things like that have metal handles. I just put my piece of firewood in the fire, but I'll get another one. Hold on. BRB. Found a few other things on the way. So what you see a lot of kids, adults, everyone doing, aside from pouring copious amounts of Boy Scout water on the fire to get it lit, they take a board and they beat the heck out of it. This is oak. Campgrounds are notorious for non-seasoned wood, which you'll never get lit. This is a very hard way to split a piece of wood. This is not a splitting axe, this is a hatchet. So to sit here forever, you're gonna spend a million years. What I like to do to keep this safe, aside from wearing gloves, is take a hammer, also made by Estwing, put the axe on the wood, and hit the axe with the hammer. Obviously you gotta have metal hammer, metal axe. But once this is buried in the wood, if it doesn't separate, you can hit the handle to get it the rest of the way through. Still dangerous to hit yourself with a hammer this size, but you'll live to fight another day. You take fingers off with this one. So, see that? I can do that right on my living room floor. Don't tell my wife. This is a kindling cracker. Great for taking smaller pieces. It's not so great with hardwood like this. Probably better for something. Work pretty good there, but this wood is like single digits dry. Again, something like this, you're not swinging this at your fingers. Keeps you safe. Moving on. Fire starter. This is called fat wood. This stuff is awesome. Like you can literally put two pieces of this, lay it underneath this log, and it will light it on fire. You can light it with a match. Piece of paper, whatever you want to do. Works really good. I highly recommend fat wood. You could buy it at a lot of your big box stores, sell it, but definitely Amazon. I just bought a massive 50-pound box of it because we use a lot. We burn a fire like this in our house every day. We like to use this to start it. We also use the outdoor wood boiler, which just burns all season, but you get the welding gloves. I think these are actually for a fire. They came with some accessory I bought, but these are great not only for reaching in here if you had to grab a log or something, but if you're cooking on a fire while you're camping, these are awesome for pulling hot pots off the fire. They work really good. If you got one of those kids that's accident prone like I was as a kid, maybe have them wear these while they split the wood. I mean, you still cut yourself with an axe, but boy, you'd be a lot better off with a pair of big hefty gloves on. I've got a pair of these that are purple. My brother, actually my nephew, gave them to me for Christmas when he was a little guy. He's 25 now, but he found a pair at Menards that they're purple welding gloves, and he saw them in there and he said, "Dad, I gotta buy these for Uncle Steve. He's got to have these." I don't think he even knew why. His dad certainly didn't. I didn't know what they were good for. I didn't even have a welder at the time. But I started using them around the fireplace, and I was like, maybe that kid knew something that I don't. So anyways, something very handy to have. Another thing, and this is probably more for at home before you go, is a Dremel. Sounds like kind of a weird camping accessory. You could take it with you camping. You might. A lot of people have battery chainsaws, stuff like that. If you're out clearing trails, if you're driving, you know, and you're side by side or whatever, you got to cut some trees up. If you want to cut up firewood, again, because we're on a firewood theme, I use one of these with these Oregon. There's a lot of different brands on Amazon, but I like the Oregon ones. It says 7/32. This is good for most of your average chainsaw blades. I got a lot of chainsaws, but this works really good for the bigger steel gas saws. These are just like a sharpening stone. You put them in the Dremel and you sharpen. There's lots of videos online on how to do that. This one is actually rechargeable. This one actually goes off of a charge cord, and you can plug it into a USB outlet, so you could charge this in your car while you're driving if you wanted. But this has been very useful. Also buying new blades, but a sharp chainsaw is a safe chainsaw. So ice packs, right? Not rocket science here. I like to keep a few of these on hand, and quite often food that I'm going to cook over a fire, I guess, pre-cooked things. Let's say you make chili mac. I like to put it in a Tupperware and I freeze it. And so when we're leaving, I'll put a couple ice packs like this in a cooler. I stick the chili mac in there. It's frozen. It takes like 2 days for it to thaw out. This will keep food cold for a long time. I don't like putting ice in a cooler, and if I'm not in a position to use a fridge or I don't want to, these work great. I throw a couple of these big ones. I have a couple small ones as well. I use them while I travel. On the same food tip, I like the idea of giving my kids like their own setup, their own things, and some things that they can only use when we go camping. So whether you're drinking coffee, this is my coffee mug for when I go camping, four-wheeling, and I keep this in my camping stuff, and I use this when I go camping. They're just kind of cool little mugs that we don't keep in a cupboard at home, we keep it in the camping gear. So when we do go camping, you're kind of excited to use your camping mug, and that just kind of adds to the experience. Another thing I like to do, a lot of people just buy jugs of water, use bigger ones. They got reverse osmosis water at home. It's nice, we like to drink it, we really like it. I just fill these jugs up. I've got 2 of these. I take them, I make coffee with them, things like that. I'll fill a 5-gallon jug out of the big sink, you know, for cooking with and stuff like that. And it works fine for the coffee as well. But if I'm just going on like a 2-day four-wheeling trip and some of the other guys are cooking, maybe got water at the campground, like a hose or something, I just want a little better water for making coffee. These refillable ones work real good, BPA free. This one's made by Aquafit. You can measure stuff in it. You could pre-mix drinks if you're into that. I just drink pretty much water and coffee. Moving on. Can you guess what that's for? You think like, hey, a toilet seat. This is kind of the difference between whether my wife will come with us or not. You can put a bag in it, or if you just, you know, set it up for somebody to pee on at night. I like to put a bag on it because it's really hard to make sure, you know, you go straight down and don't pee all over everything. So sometimes a bag's nice, but sometimes you don't want to get rid of the bag. You'd rather, you know, dunk this in a lake or spray it off or something. It's a great little seat. I work for this guy doing these Expeditions Unlimited. You could look them up. We did these wilderness trips with a lot of like church youth groups and stuff. And he had like an old school fold-up lawn chair with like the webbing on it. And he had cut the middle out and just bolted a toilet seat to it. So we did a lot of canoe trips on sandbars and stuff like that. We'd camp out in the middle of the river. We'd dig a hole and set up the lawn chair over the top of it, leave a shovel with the toilet paper on it, or put in a coffee can in case it rained. That were great. You know, kids loved it. We'd set up a little privacy tent and they could just go. You know, I see a lot of these like in incinerator toilets or composting toilets, things like that people take with them. I don't know, and everybody's got a different opinion on it, but when you got to do your business, I like to leave it. And I don't want to leave a plastic bag behind, but I don't have a problem leaving your mess somewhere. Dig a hole if you like to, whatever. You could burn a toilet paper. There's a million different options. Toilet seat. Not a bad thing to have. Here's kind of a weird little gadget. I bought this on Amazon as well because that's kind of where people buy things. This is a holster that fits flashlight and a multi-tool. In fact, let me show you. I'm wearing one right here. This one is a $100 version. It's a $20 version. I lost one. Ordered a new Olight baton and a Skeletool by Leatherman. Like both of these. These are super cool. Pocket knife, multi-tool, gets you out of a lot of trouble. But I ordered this more expensive one is what I was replacing, what I lost. I think this is just as good. In fact, it's got these two little straps here so you can put a pen or a marker or something in there. I don't know who needs to carry a pen around, but this other one they make for, this is, I think, Tale of Knives it's called. I've got this little Olight baton, very bright little flashlight, multiple settings. And I've got this Skeletool. This is made specifically for those. And a few other models, but this is like a one size fits all. So it's a little bigger, a little bulkier. But that's kind of cool. You know, every kid likes to carry around a pocket knife, like to whittle, like to do whatever. I just like wearing it on my hip. I started doing this because I would keep my phone in my front pocket. I put the pocket knife in there and I wound up wrecking a couple phones that way, smashing them. Oh, what I wish I had and I didn't bring with. My youngest has autism, and so camping with her is a very different experience. Safety is a big deal. It's a big deal with all kids. It is especially with her. She's a runner. If you've been watching this channel much, I am not a runner. I got 2 bad knees. I need to get them both replaced, but they told me I gotta wait a decade to have that done, so we're sorting that out. Part of the problem, especially with her, is wondering if she's able to tell people who she is and that she's lost. If you've got a special needs child or adult with you, or just one that likes to run off, some of these like Apple AirTags are not a bad thing. Depending on the age of the kid and what they have going on, like here, I'm gonna put this big sticker in your forehead so everyone knows that you're running away or that we can locate you. You can put them in some of this gear and encourage them to take it with them. Take your pocket knife with you. It's got a tracker in it. God forbid your kid should wander off. You can find them. Another great thing that kids love, I've got these Midland radios. They're like a Jeep version for 4-wheeling, and they're small CBs, some of these walkie-talkies that have 20-mile range. They're unreal. It's a great thing to give your kids. So if your kid wants to take off, go do something, have them take them with them, because you know how kids are. They just wander off and all of a sudden they're lost. But if you can track them, man, that is just a great option. But you don't always have reception. The walkie-talkies work real good as well. I bought this for, I don't know, just a few dollars. This is a silverware roll. This is kind of a cool thing. I was thinking that, you know, if you had one of these, kind of goes with the mug idea for your kids where they have their own, you know, set of silverware, things like that. Or maybe you got one kid in charge of the family silverware. Maybe you don't have kids. Maybe you only got one. That's kind of a cool idea. Oh, these are really cool. So when you're in a campground, you know, and again, this is kind of a safety issue, beating stakes in and out with a hammer, those days are gone. It's a big screw. You can take a screw gun and just run these right in the ground. They work really well. This kit comes with, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 of them. Comes with a couple bits for your screw gun. Kind of a cool idea. Don't get all bent up. First aid kit goes without saying. We won't get into this or what needs to go in it. It's just a cheap one I picked up just to have. You mostly need, like, you know, something to clean a cut and Band-Aids, things like that, mosquito bites. It's one of my favorite. Pair of shower shoes, Crocs, whatever you want to call them. At night, you know, you get wet, you get muddy, you want to go wade in the creek. If you're at a campground that has showers, you want to use a shower, things like that. Having a pair of these are awesome. I throw these in my trailer and just leave them with my camping gear. So when I go to pack, it's just one less thing to have to pack. It's already ready. But, you know, if you get into trouble that way, you can wash them off. And while they dry, you got something to put on. Man, that thing's getting hot. We're not even pegged. 200 degrees? How about that? Feels warm. Fan's not even going yet. What else do we got? Oh, here we go. Lighting fires. All right, we are overlanding. We are not backpacking. This would be a terrible choice if you were backpacking. It's big, bulky. Man, that thing's got to weigh 5-6 pounds, but very useful when you're lighting a fire at a campground, you know. You take matches, much less cumbersome, but boy, instant heat and a lot of it. The blue cans are propane. I wound up, somebody gave me a whole case of them, so I've been using them. But the yellow ones are MAP gas, and if you've ever done any plumbing, the MAP gas is way hotter. It will start fires way quicker. You can almost put it to a log if it's dry enough. Don't cheap out on this, on the head. This is a Burnzomatic, but something with this locking knob is a good idea. But this big bodied one versus the little, you know, $15 ones, this is like 50 bucks. 100 times better than the other ones. You know, we have campfires, obviously. We burn with wood here, we burn with wood in our stove at home, outdoor wood boiler, brush, cardboard, everything. There's almost not a day goes by when I don't light something on fire. Way better than matches or like the stick lighters. I got one over there. They never work. I can never get them to go. That's pretty dependable, and you know, you got the room, you're driving a vehicle, you might as well do it right. Let's see, we're winding down here. This is a good one. This is a good kid's safety one. It's a hot dog skewer or s'mores, because everyone likes, you know, the quintessential camping food, right? S'mores and hot dogs. But if you ever been in a campground with a 5-year-old with a hot dog stick that's like, hey, look, it's on fire. You know, the fire's dangerous enough. You poke an eye out. These curve backwards. I don't even know where I got this. I'll see if I can find a link for them. But I remember a friend of mine had them. He might have gave them to everyone. But you can see how it works, right? You're gonna slide your hot dog or your marshmallows on this end. This one, looks like it was doing marshmallows last. And then, obviously, nobody can poke you with it. This side's not even sharp. It's just blunt. But this has been a real good option. So, anyways, there's a billion more things that you can take when you go camping for your kids. Build your kit. But these are some of the things that I've had that make the experience more enjoyable for my kids, because they get to do things like play with axes and knives and fire and all that fun stuff. It's great for my wife and I because we can relax a little more, let our guard down, knowing that they're not going to chop their fingers off. I've been camping with plenty of adults that could benefit from safety scissors. Maybe you're one of those adults. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll do it again real soon.